Good afternoon, everyone. It is February 14th, 2019. Sorry, I'm a little off my game lately. I've been going to doctors and to get my back work done, and it's doing some good, but when they work on them, it really drains me of energy for some reason. And so I've been dealing with that along with being a little bit under the weather. My daughter too. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and I've dropped the ball somewhat on that because I've been fucking sick and feeling like shit. And today is no exception, except that I have a little more energy than before. Did medieval soldiers suffer from PTSD? And the answer to that question is yes. Look, it's easy for me to see why individuals in the United States military would come home and commit suicide. I understand. You know, have you ever seen something or did something? The chances are, if you've seen something so horrible that, every time you close your eyes to fall asleep, that event is there waiting for you, the chances are you've probably done something equally as horrible. So have you done or seen anything so horrible that happens to you? It's like, reliving that same moment over and over and over again. Now, let's say that you joined the military out of some naive idea that you were serving your country. You get sent to some place like Afghanistan. And these are just examples, okay? I'm not talking about any particular person, just a hypothetical situation. That has happened. I've covered it, but I'm not talking about this individual per se. Okay? So, they get sent to Afghanistan and they're told, these Taliban fuckers are some mean bastards and they're killing civilians and doing all kinds of shit. And you get there and you find out that you're actually a guard dog for the world's heroin supply. And then, instead of killing Taliban fighters and other insurgents, you are killing civilians and children. And it may not be on purpose, but whether it's on purpose or not, it's not really relevant when it comes to PTSD. You see, a little bit of trauma on a person is good for them. But there comes a point, like everything else, where that trauma turns on that person. That trauma infects them. It makes them guilty. Even if they're not guilty. It makes them feel guilty, okay? Maybe just outright guilty is not the proper way to phrase it, but it makes them feel guilty. And these feelings are real. And I'll give you an example of how real these feelings are. I don't know how many of you know this about me, but when I was a 3-year-old, I found my brother dead, hanging between his crib bars. And that is an example of a trauma that is something that would turn back on you eventually. It may not happen right away, but it did for me. It did for me. I've had nightmares all my life about my brother, and And I still do. I still have the nightmares. And then let's say that you're a person like me. You say, "Fuck it, I'm going to join the military." Well, you keep adding trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma, and eventually you do something so bad that you can't live with yourself anymore. So I understand. I understand why some people end up killing themselves. But let me tell you, anyone who don't kill themselves, anyone who keeps pushing through it, anyone who gets up in the morning and puts their boots on and keeps on, the strength that it takes to do that is unimaginable. Is unimaginable. Now, on one hand, I don't respect veterans for for a lot of them being naive as they were when they first started. On the other hand, I do respect the ones who made it through the shit and are whole people. It's very difficult to experience one trauma after another and to remain a whole, productive person. I know because I have experienced this. So I read this article here. Did medieval soldiers suffer from PTSD? And I already knew the answer. And this is one of the reasons why the Romans had policies in place that would not allow their soldiers into the city's walls for a period of time after a major battle. These soldiers' families, they don't deserve to have to deal with it, just like my family don't deserve to have to deal with it, but somebody has to, right? So enough on that. All right, I'm going to hit some headlines here at the Free Thought Project, SHTF plan, and maybe Zero Hedge. I'm not really much on the financial things anymore because I pretty much called it 6 years ago that the most likely thing to do us in would be an economic matter, like a collapse or something like that. And I still hold that belief. I still believe that the economic end of things is going to bring about our downfall. But I could be wrong. It could be nature. I mean, that's my second choice, nature. Not war. I don't think war is going to be it. Not civil war. Although some might try to start one. And there might be some bloodshed. But I don't think that's going to do us in. Nature or economic matters. And there will be rebellions and skirmishes here and there because of some of the things I'm about to go over. Watch. Don't shoot him. Cops disobey sergeant, shoot two unarmed men, and get away with it. And this is just another example, of one justice system for us and one justice system for them. And this is one of the things that, fuck, my wife's hair is all over the place. That is just one example of the reasons why people are going to start capping these guys. And the sergeant tried to do the right thing. But, see, the problem with this is there may be some good apples in these police departments. However, they are completely outnumbered by the bad apples. And eventually, the bad apples turn all the good apples rotten. States propose bill to treat gold and silver as money to directly fight Federal Reserve monopoly. I don't think there's enough gold left for that to be effective. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong, and if that's the case, that's a good thing, but we shouldn't need states to do this. The people should be doing this. 6 cops opened fire on aspiring young rapper sleeping in his car, executing him. Unarmed, sleeping, but still shot, right? Study shows concealed carry permit holders break laws far less than cops. Go figure, right? Go figure. And there's more. I mean, look down here. Oh, I might have missed them. TSA disgustingly molests triple amputee U.S. veteran and Purple Heart recipient. Unprecedented gun confiscation hits U.S. as thousands of guns seized from innocent citizens. Oh, hey militia, where are you? I tell you where you are. You are a bunch of pussies who will not do shit. You've been playing soldier in the woods for the last, what, 20 years or more? And your pathetic asses aren't going to do anything. And you know why? Because it's cops taking the guns. Cops accuse innocent woman of stealing her own car, smash her into the pavement. And, you know, I've been accused of being racist, but if I were really racist, I wouldn't be pointing out how cops are beating on black people. The thing is, it's not just happening to black people. Here we go down here. Shock video, cop tortures dad in front of kids, tasering him. I watched the video. It's pretty fucked up, man. It's pretty fucked up. The guy did not show the least bit of aggression, and yet they treat him the way they did. And I went over this one. Multiple studies show nearly half of all police families experience domestic violence. Is that really a surprise to anybody? Is it? It shouldn't be. The rest of them are that. And by the way, another high suicide rate occupation is law enforcement. Just so you know. Wonder why that is. Man. This cough is kicking my ass, people. A new study discovers 2/3 of all bankruptcies in the United States are primarily caused by medical bills. And it's not only does the medical industry kill more people than heroin, car accidents, and police shootings combined, but they also rip you off at a much higher rate than these other places, other than the government. And I'd have to say that they're kind of merged together there, that, you know, government interference in the medical industry is why they're responsible for, what was it? About 2/3 of all bankruptcies. That makes sense. And down here, they talk about how survival is not like the movies. Listen. If you've seen it in the movie, unless it's a very realistic movie, you probably should be wary of it. Really, you should. If you see something in a movie and you think, I wonder if that will work, maybe, you know, trying before you're in a pinch would be a good idea. Senate has found no evidence that Donald Trump or the Trump campaign colluded with Russia, and yet they're still going after Donald Trump. Maybe I was wrong about some of Donald Trump, but overall I don't think so. I think probably this back and forth between the two sides is more about who's going to exert the ultimate control for the long run. It's a war within the government. Who's going to get the reins of power. And this struggle has been going on since the beginning of time. And the only thing that's going to end it is us. Debt crisis in America. A record number of Americans are behind on car payments. A national debt passes $22 trillion. A crisis in the making. The autonomy of moral panic, and we see this quite a bit. Sheriffs in New Mexico vow not to enforce 6 absolutely outrageous new gun control bills. You see, they should have had that whole mentality towards the whole war on drugs, and this country would be a much better place, even with law enforcement there. The majority of small business owners think recession is coming this year. And health officials warn it isn't over yet, and as Ebola outbreak rages on and spreads. I've done a video many months back talking about how Ebola is not really a threat to the people on this continent until they start bringing infected individuals over here on passenger jets like United Airlines and so on. Apocalyptic sounds in the sky, no explanation for mystery booms and mysterious flashes of light all across America. I think I have a handle on the trumpet sounds and maybe the booms, but the flashes of light, I'm not really sure about. And it's my theory that our tectonic plates are being forced together or rubbing each other, and that's what's causing the sounds people are hearing. Flashes of light, that's a different matter. And of course, this video probably won't reach a lot of people because of YouTube's latest round of censorship. Paul Krugman expects a recession this year, and the ruling class won't be able to help you. Have they ever really helped us? And of course, there's been an ongoing army drill continuing in Los Angeles. What the fuck is up with that? What are they preparing for? I mean, there's lots and lots more. I could go to, I don't know, DC Clothesline, as sycophantic followers as they are. They still keep up with the news, some news pretty well. And we'll hit some of those too. Why not? Any fucking time now. Angry Americans demand DNC pay back money spent, god damn it, on the, what was it? Russian collusion investigation. Rats, public defecation, and open drug use. And by the way, drug use is a lot like sex, okay? Should be kept behind your own fucking doors. Not everyone needs to know you're a junkie. Keep your own personal business to yourself. That would go a long way in improving this shitty fucking world we live in. And I'm not going to show this, okay? I already have enough fucking post-traumatic stress. I'm not going to add to it by watching videos of babies being murdered. But you see the headline on your screen. warning, extremely graphic video shows proof that late-term abortion is outright child murder, and it is. Mexican scientists find a cure for HPV, but it won't be profitable to prove it in the U.S. The truth is coming out. 30% of parents realize flu shots spread the flu. Vaccine industry in total panic to censor all science, real science, about vaccines. And that should not be a surprise either. I mean, it just goes on and on. There's no way I could cover all this in one day. I would be doing nothing but videos every day. Here's one that should maybe worry you a little bit. It's official. Big Brother is seizing the bank accounts of political dissidents. Yep. And this puke was captured in Florida because he was wanted on 800 plus counts of child rape. He should have been executed on the spot. And I already talked about this. Where are you militias at when they're seizing these people's guns? You are cowards. What's the matter? You don't want the PTSD that the soldiers have to live with? What's the matter? Are you afraid? You're pussies. You're all pussies. Soft, weak pussies. And a person doesn't need a whole lot of training to be able to kill another person. See, the thing about killing is, it's easy to kill a person. It is. What's really hard, is living with it. Yeah. I mean, if you know the anatomy of a body, like, you know, right in this area, plunge a knife into that area and pull it out, the person's going to bleed out. You want to instantly put somebody's lights out, you pike them in the back of the head. Killing is easy. It's living with it. And you guys don't have the stomach to live with it. A lot of you want to be soldiers hiding out in the woods. You are a bunch of pussies. And of course, this does not apply to the ones that's actually seen war, but I would have to say that you're pussies too, because you know the government is doing you wrong and you continue to take it. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, I know this video wasn't about any particular thing except for my ranting and raving, but hey, it's better than nothing. Corey Spartacus Booker declares planet simply cannot sustain people eating meat. But, you know, his solution for you is to eat bugs and have a vegetable diet, while the ruling class has their filet mignon and steaks and T-bones and all that shit. You know, one set of living standard for them and a whole different standard of living for you. That's the way it works. But that should be painfully obvious by now, which, unfortunately, it's not. And this is one of the reasons why I made my video earlier talking about how I utterly gave up on people. Would the U.S. government let Jesus cure cancer? He would have to do it on the down low, otherwise he would be executed. And that is the sad state of things. They would kill him. They would either kill him or incarcerate him. Even if he didn't say, I'm a doctor, or anything like that, even if he just simply touched somebody and it cured their cancer, they would lock him away. Because you know why? It would interfere with the profitability of the medical industry. And I really dig a lot of Jesus's teachings. How fucking unfortunate is it that we live in that society? A society that's supposed to be filled with Christians, and they would let Jesus be incarcerated or once more crucified. Hope everyone has a good day. Kill the state before the state kills you.